I've been living on my own for about 23 years now, and I really love it. I love living on my own, and I can still do a lot of the things that I did in my 50s, maybe even late 40s. Things like mowing my own grass or taking care of my garden, which requires a lot of bending and kneeling, but I still manage to do that fine. And I know I'm lucky, and I still feel pretty much like I'm in my, I don't know, maybe late 50s. My mom always moved around like she was very young. She never had any knee problems or back problems. And so I guess I take after her quite a bit, and I'm very fortunate. And I do get tired more easily now, that's for sure. Midday, my eyes my eyes start to close. I do a lot during the day, though. I do a lot of moving around and kind of physical work. So it's really no wonder that I get tired, but I take my breaks. I take time to sit down and rest, put my feet up, which really revives me, and it's very important for me. But those these are some of the harsh realities that face us as we get older as women, and it's not easy. It's difficult for so many people. I understand this. I'm one of the lucky ones, but I know a lot of people as they get older, they just have a lot more health issues and getting around issues, and it's difficult. It's really hard when we get older. The first thought is about the amount of time we have left. It's not something that I dwell on all the time, but every once in a while I think about it, and I realize I don't really have that much time left. The life expectancy of women in the United States is 81 years, and for men it's 5 years less. But I don't want to sound depressing, but it is a fact. It's a fact that a lot of us think about, do how much time we have left, what we're going to do with the time that we have left. And this leads me to my number two thought, which is, do I have time to still do the things I want to do? Will I be able to still do the things that I want to do? I still want to travel. There are so many places, there's so many things that I still want to do. And I worry that I won't have the ability to do them. And how much longer can I continue to travel? Traveling, it's great. It can be a lot of fun. And I did a video on traveling solo by yourself. And traveling solo is also a lot of fun. But I do worry, and I think we all worry about traveling, especially solo, because what if you have a health issue and you're in a foreign country, or what if you fall down, you get hurt, and you're in a foreign country? All of these thoughts are real thoughts, and they do happen to people. So you have to be aware of that, and it's just another reality of getting older, that you have to think that, do you have to stop traveling now that you're older? I wouldn't want that to be the case. So still being able to do these things in the future, that's one of the concerns as we get older, and one of the realities as we get older. And number three reality has to do with money. The reason I'm still semi retired and not fully retired is because I didn't plan well, and I still have to have an income. Now, I do work for myself, so I'm able to take some time off when I want, or take a vacation when I want, because obviously it's my business, so I can take time off whenever I want. Not everyone has this luxury to be able to do that. And a lot of people, I know I'm not alone, a lot of people are still working and they're semi retired, and they're still working because they have to, because they need the income. You can't rely on Social Security, that's for sure. Although I know some people do, but you can't. You have to keep working if you don't have enough of an income to support yourself. As far as planning, I have to say for myself, We never really thought about our future. We never discussed our future, our retirement. Nothing like this was ever talked about in my marriage, and that's really unfortunate. I know a lot of people plan their future and, right down to the most minute detail, but I but we didn't in my marriage, and that's one of the reasons why I'm not fully retired. I do have some money invested for my future, and so it's there if and when I need it, but I don't want to rely on it now. One of the realities of getting older is that because we're living longer, uh, we we don't want to run out of money. I've told this story before in a previous video that my uncle, who lived to be 96, um, said that he never expected to live that long and he was running out of money. And I just think that's crazy. But that's what he said, and that's the truth. We are living longer. Okay, and the fourth thought that I have about the realities of getting older are tasks. Now, these tasks can include things like cleaning your house or yard work, or maintenance on your home, things like that that we used to be able to do by ourselves, no problem. And of course, now the reality is that we have to hire a lot of things out. It could be dangerous if we try to climb up a ladder, or climb a ladder if we want to paint the walls of our bedroom, for example. I mean, that could be dangerous to many people. And it's something that we just can't do anymore. We have to be really careful. So we need to hire things out. Just basic cleaning. If you have a large home, of course, it depends on what size home you live in. If you have just a small apartment, it's not too hard to dust and vacuum, run the dishwasher, do the dishes, things like that. But if you have a larger home, of course, you have to, get someone in to clean your house and things like that. So that's just another reality. It's kind of nice to have some help once in a while. So, that's just another thought, another reality of getting older that you have to accept. And number five is health. Of course, we always have to talk about our health. We don't feel like we used to anymore. We have to take care of ourselves, and we have to take care of our physical as well as our mental health. And, going to the doctor, going for checkups, taking care of ourselves, making sure that we go to the dermatologist, for example, to check for skin cancer, which is, something that could be very dangerous. I live alone, as I said before, and a few years ago, when I went to the dermatologist, they found something on my back which turned out to be melanoma, and it had to be surgically removed, and it really scared me because when you live alone, you don't have someone there to say, "Hey, what's that on your back or the back of your leg?" or something that you personally wouldn't notice. So you have to be really careful. I mean, at any age, you have to do all these things, but especially as we get older, we have to be very careful, and we have to be diligent to make the doctor appointments and to go to the doctors. And I'm not saying to go to the doctor on a regular basis to make a big deal about it. It's just that you have to keep up with your visits. That's all. So getting older is a privilege. Not everyone gets this chance. We have to be realistic with the things that we can and cannot do anymore. So, what do you think about getting older? What realities do you face? I'd love it if you would share with everyone in the comments. So, thanks for listening, and I'll see you next time.